We mentioned the kids were being evacuated to Oakdale Baptist Church. That is where they were taken by bus to meet their parents. And Dave Jordan is there. And Dave, we see you now. So Dave, bring us up to speed. What do you see there?
Well, Gordon, we have a lot of relief parents coming to Oakdale Baptist Church. This is where the parents of Townville students, elementary students, were told to come to pick up their children. I'm going to get a shot over my shoulder. This is what is greeting them when they arrive here. You see a lot of police cars, but you also see a long line of cars, sort of like a number of cars just waiting so they can pull over and retrieve their children. Now, if you can pan over to the left, this is a little bit of a traffic jam right now, people trying to navigate as well. I've spoken to a couple of parents, many of them shedding tears of relief, very overwhelmed by the events of the day, as you as a parent, Gordon, could certainly imagine. Others are making their way, parking away from the school, from the church right now, rather, and walking up the hill to go and retrieve those children. We have a police officer, a sheriff's deputy as well, directing traffic. As I mentioned, many people coming in the distance from all over the area to try to see if their children are among the ones that were taken here, which is where some of the parents have been told to route. There is also a heavy police presence here, independent of directing traffic. You can see some of the flashing blue lights, many of them standing guard, a lot of parents talking on cell phones, communicating with people. This is a very highly charged scene right now, and we are going to stay here and continue to cover it as these developments unfold throughout the day. A lot of parents relieved, some anxious, but many of them hoping to be reunited with their children that they haven't seen since this morning when they dropped them off, or when the bus dropped them off at Townville Elementary.
Dave, how are they doing that? The reuniting of parents and kids. You know, they have a lot of very strict procedures for how parents pick up their kids at the school, but this is a terrifying and unusual situation. What are they doing?
Well, what they're doing, and the buses are taking children here, which is what my understanding is. We've seen at least 2 or 3 school buses. Scott Metzger is working on the camera for me. Scott, if you can zoom in beyond the church sign, you can see one of the school buses here. Presumably, that school bus is filled with children, dropping them off to this location so that they can be reunited with their parents. Now I'm going to have the camera pan a little more, if possible. Right over my shoulder, you can see parents walking away with their children. Take a shot right here. These are some of the parents who have collected their children and are walking back to the cars, many of them relieved, children clinging to their parents. Some of them were even crying, highly emotional, as you can imagine. People want to be reunited with their kids. This is a very emotional scene right now, and it's also a very dramatic scene that is playing out in real time. This is something that schools prepare for all the time, but it's one of these things, Gordon, stay on the shots. This is one of the things that, you know, schools prepare for all the time, but certainly something they hope does not happen. And that is what we're hearing a lot of right now. A lot of anxiety, a lot of relief for the parents who have finally connected with their children, and a heavy police presence here this afternoon as parents are reunited at Oakdale Baptist Church on Highway 24 in Townville. Gordon?
Yeah, Dave, I'm sorry. As a parent, this is the worst thing that can ever happen, ever, to hear that there's been a shooting at your child's school. So what we're going to do is try and talk to some of those folks responding to that scene, to school officials, about how they're organizing that. That was Oakdale Baptist Church, where the kids from Townville Elementary, as Dave showed you, some of the buses bringing those kids in. We watched as they were evacuated from the school there today, and now those parents who at some point today got a phone call from Anderson District 4 saying there's been a shooting at your child's school. Don't pick them up at the school. Pick them up at Oakdale Baptist. A terrifying situation and heartbreaking to watch. You saw these kids clinging to their mothers and fathers as they're being walked away.